Hello, I'm Sophie from Bag Designs. I decided to make a lighter version of the sunburst granny square that we all know and love, just for our summer projects. So please follow along and I'll show you how to do it. I start off with a magic ring and do a chain of 4. The chain of 4 counts as a double crochet chain 1. And then in the rest of the magic ring, do a double crochet chain 1 7 times. So in total, including the chain 4, you've got your 8 double crochets, chain 1. Don't forget to do that last chain at the end. Before you join them all together. So you want to join in the top of the 3rd chain and slip stitch. And then slip stitch into the gap. Now, because it's the first starting, you could just chain 2, yarn over, pull off 2 for a double crochet cluster, then yarn over, pull through, pull off 2, 3 left on the hook, and take off all 3. That's just a 2 double crochet cluster. Now you're going to chain 3. This time you're going to do the 3 double crochet cluster, which is what you would do all the way around. So in the next gap, yarn over, pull off 2, yarn over, pull off 2, yarn over, pull off 2. You've got 4 left on the hook, and you're going to take off all 4. And then you chain 3 again. So you can do this all the way around in all your gaps. Yarn over, pull off 2, yarn over, pull off 2, yarn over, pull off 2, and take off all 4. So continue this all the way around until you have 8 clusters. Okay, so join with a slip stitch in the top of the cluster. So you see those 2 strands at the top of the cluster. You slip stitch into that, and then you're ready for the next round. So we're basically repeating this round. You're going to slip stitch into the gap and chain 2 for this starting cluster, and then do your 2 double crochet cluster, yarn over, pull off 2, yarn over, pull off 2, and then pull off 3. But this time it's chain 4. So exactly the same as the last round. And do your 3 double crochet cluster in every gap. A yarn over, pull off 2, yarn over, pull off 2, yarn over, pull off 2. And chain 4. And just continue that all the way around until you've got your 8 clusters. So you can see it's just a lighter version of the sunburst granny square with the clusters. I just think aren't quite so heavy. So you've got your 8 clusters. Last chain 4, and then you slip stitch into the top of the cluster. Now don't worry if it's a bit curly and bending in, because the next round is make it into a square and it will help flatten it out. So slip stitch into the gap and you're ready for the next round. Okay, so now we're ready for the next round. So you're going to chain 4 and then double crochet and chain 1 in the gap. Then in the cluster you're going to double crochet, chain 1, double crochet and chain 1, and then you're ready for the corner. That's a triple in the corner, so that's a yarn over twice, take off 2, take off 2, take off 2, chain 1 and another triple, yarn over twice, take off 2, take off 2, take off 2, chain 3, and then another triple, chain 1, sorry I've caught my yarn there, so do the chain 1 and another triple, and one more chain 1, don't forget the chain 1, and then in the cluster double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, in the gap double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and the cluster double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and you're ready for the next corner. So you're going to repeat that all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end of the last corner. So in the cluster, in the gap, and in the cluster you do double crochet, chain one, double crochet, chain one. Okay, so you should have your 4 corners and you have 3 sort of double crochet sections in between, and I'm just going to finish that last double crochet, chain one, double crochet, chain one in that last cluster at the beginning, because if you remember we started in a gap, so we need that one more. Don't forget to do that, so it matches all the other sides. Double crochet, chain one, double crochet, don't forget the last chain one, they're very easy to forget, and then you join in the top of that 3rd chain. There you go, and I'm really happy with that. It's a very light sunburst granny square, so the clusters rather than the puff stitch, and you could leave it there if you're just doing a smaller project or you want smaller squares, but I am adding a final round just because I want my square bigger, so I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so this round is actually very simple, and like I said, it's just an extra round I wanted to do for myself. So you just chain 3, and then in that chain 1 stitch you do a double crochet, and then in a double crochet you do a double crochet. So you just continue that to the corner. Double crochet in a chain, double crochet in a double crochet. And then in the corner you do 2 double crochets, chain 3 and 2 double crochets, and then you just double crochet in every chain. So it's a very easy round, and I'll meet you at the end. So that is the end. We're just going to finish off the last couple of double crochets in every chain, every double crochet, and I hope you've enjoyed making it. I found it so useful for a lot of projects that I've been making. I'm just going to finish off here, and what I'm going to do is show you how I actually join it. You should have 23 double crochets in all along the sides. So to do the invisible join, which I find is really useful when I'm joining all the squares together, because it makes it really clear. It makes the stitches really clear if you join like this. So you skip that chain and you go into the proper double crochet. So not the chain 4, you go into the proper double crochet from the front, and then down through that last stitch. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So down, back through the middle of that last stitch, yeah? And it just makes a perfect join. And then just down the back, you just thread it down the back. And I just do that so that you can then hide your yarn in that thick section. and where the two stitches sort of join together, and it makes a lovely area to join it, which is thick and makes it very secure. And there you go. So what I'll quickly do is just sew my centre, well, my starting thread. You probably all have done this hundreds of times, so you know how to do it. Just run it through back and forth a few times, just so it doesn't unwind, and then it's nice and secure. Okay, it's nearly done, and I hope you've enjoyed making it. If you've got any questions, then please just ask. But it's a lovely square to make and very simple. And like I said, it's my take on the sunburst granny square with the clusters and some gaps between the stitches, as opposed to the puff stitch. And they're heavier, which, don't get me wrong, I love the sunburst granny square and I've used it a lot, particularly with my bags. But yeah, I think it's attractive and easy to make. I have got a project here that I thought I'd quickly show you. It's a summer top that if you look at some of my videos, you'll be able to see these tops I've made. But you can see how this light square, this is a cotton yarn, really works. And then I've just joined them together, and I have got made a triangle to match. If anyone's interested in a triangle, then please let me know and I'll make a video. Okay, thanks for watching.